Hello, hello, hello. I am the Linux Mensch. Firefox. Is it good or is it bad? Well, today I'm going to talk about it. So, let's get to it. So I started using Firefox. Ooh, maybe it was 2011. And in those days, I was solely on Windows. I didn't even know what a Linux was. I went from Microsoft Internet Explorer to Google Chrome because Google Chrome was fantastic. It was working really fast. And it was much lighter than Microsoft Internet. Then I made my way to Firefox. And I've been using Firefox since 2011. And like I said, I was using it in Windows. Then when I started using Linux just over 5 years ago, I was really pleased that most Linux distributions come with Firefox installed by default. I thought that was fantastic. And then over the past years, well, before I go there, I would say 3 months into using Linux 5 years ago, I learned about the Brave browser from watching Chris Titus' video. And I first installed the Brave browser in Linux Mint. And at that time, it wasn't available as a Flatpak or in the standard Linux Mint repo. But I was able to install the Brave browser by watching a video by Chris Titus, and he showed you how to go into the terminal and how to download it. So I downloaded and installed it in the terminal, and I was using Brave browser, and I loved it because Brave browser has a built-in ad blocker. You don't have to get an add-on to it. And I was telling somebody at work, and he said, well, Firefox has a ad blocker too. You just have to go and get it and install it. It's an add-on. So I did that. So over the past 5 years that I've been using Linux, I've been going back and forth between Firefox and Brave browser. And as a matter of fact, probably I've been spending more time in Firefox. Now, over the past few years, uh, Firefox has done a lot of things to upset the community. It's become very bloated. And when you install Firefox, not only is it bloated, a lot of the bloat is turned on by default. And it also has spyware, and a lot of the spyware turned on by default. So if you don't know to go into the settings and to turn all these things off, you won't do it. And for that reason, over the years, I've been starting not to like Firefox, even though I've been using it as my main web browser over Brave since I've been using Linux for the past 5 years. And like I said, I've been using Firefox since 2011 when I was still on Windows. Now, of course, everyone knows that's watching this video over the past month or so, Firefox changed its terms of service. And now they're saying that whatever you do on the internet through Firefox, that data belongs to them and they can use it whatever way they want. Now, of course, I'm highly paraphrasing it, putting it in my own words. And of course, it's upset the whole Linux community. And every Linux YouTuber has done at least one video on it. And some of the Linux YouTubers made 2 videos on it. And I'm probably the last person to make a video about this topic. And I was thinking of leaving Firefox totally, throwing it in the garbage. And so far, I've stuck with it because there are things about it that I like. And this past Wednesday, Firefox had an update. And in my computer at home here on this computer, my YouTube videos stopped functioning properly. And it was only happening when I played YouTube. So this what was happening. Let me go to my YouTube channel and show you. And it's going to play a video. And I'm just going to mute this. So what was happening was when I was in small screen, I didn't have a problem. But when I was in full screen, if I went to change the volume, look what happened. It jumps it ahead. Let's try it again. Look what happens. So now let's say I want to minimize it. So I move my mouse here and watch what happens when I click this on. It jumps the video to the end. So, when you click this on, it should minimize the video back into its place, right? So to get it to minimize, I have to hit my escape key. When I'm in small mode, it works. The volume works, and this icon works here to make it larger, but it won't make it smaller. And like I said, when I'm in large mode, clicking on this brings it to the end of the video, and the volume doesn't work. And I couldn't figure out why. And it was happening at work as well. Now, at work, I was also using Linux with the awesome window manager. So I decided to make a video on Firefox, and at the time, I didn't have the Brave browser installed on my main system. So I installed the Brave browser on my main system and started using it, and I wasn't having that problem in it. So then I thought, you know what? I'm sick of Firefox. Let's get rid of it. Let's throw it in the garbage and let's migrate all my computers and everything I do on the internet to Firefox. Then I realized today there is some conflict going on with the most current Firefox and the awesome window manager. So on this main computer, and I can't show you because if I show you, it's going to stop recording. Okay. So when I log out of the awesome window manager and I go into DWM window manager, Spectre window manager, Qtile window manager, Cinnamon desktop, and the GNOME desktop environments, and I open up Firefox and run YouTube, the videos play fine. I don't have that problem. So I realized today there's some conflict with the most current version of Firefox and my awesome window manager. Now, like I said, I was having the same problem at work with the awesome window manager and Firefox. And of course, at work and at home, I'm running Arch Linux. Now, I watched a video by the Linux Experiment where he interviewed Ryan Sipes, who is a development manager at Mozilla, but he's a manager at Thunderbird. So if you don't know, Thunderbird is an email client that works in Linux and Windows as well. And I don't know if it works in Apple. And Thunderbird is owned by the same company that owns Firefox, Mozilla. And the Linux Experiment did a full hour interview with Ryan Sipes about what's going on at Mozilla, Firefox, Thunderbird, focusing on the new legal changes for the terms of service. And to tell you the truth, he tried to explain it in a way that would make the community feel better, and it didn't make me feel better. Really looks like to me that Firefox is going to be harvesting and selling the information that they get from your system when you're using Firefox on the internet. And Nick at the Linux Experiment, I think he did a good interview. I'm not criticizing him or his interview or his channel. Ryan Sipes didn't make me feel better. His answers didn't make me feel better. I was going to ditch Firefox altogether this week. I was going to migrate everything from Firefox to the Brave browser. I really like the Brave browser. It comes installed automatically with an ad blocker. It's based on security. And the person who started the Brave browser used to be the president of Mozilla. And I think actually he started Firefox himself. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But he left Firefox in 2016 and started the Brave browser. And like I said, the Brave browser is good, but the Brave browser has some bloat as well and some things you want to turn off when you have it installed. And personally, I think all web browsers are bad. I don't know if there is a 100% secure and safe web browser or if any of them can be trusted. However, I think probably the Brave browser is the best, but the Brave browser is lacking one thing that Firefox has. So Firefox, if you save your passwords, and of course you're probably not supposed to do that, they say you should be saving your passwords in a password manager and not in the web browser. But Firefox has something that I really like, and that's this. To open up the password manager that's built into Firefox, you have to add you can turn on a password, a primary password. Now, it used to be called master password, and then Firefox got more woke and they changed it from master password to primary password. But I like it because, and you don't have to use it or turn it on, but you can turn it on. So if someone has access to your computer and they go to the password manager, they have to put your primary password in, and then they can't see what your passwords are if they don't know your primary password. Now, the funny thing is that Brave browser does that in Windows 10 and 11, but that is more of a Microsoft thing. So when you're using Brave browser in Windows 10 and 11, and you go to open up the password manager in Brave browser, a pop-up comes up asking for your password, your computer password, to get into the password manager of Brave browser. But it doesn't do that in Linux. I started using the Brave browser more. Like, I stopped using it a few months ago. Maybe I stopped using it for a year. And I reinstalled the Brave browser in my main computer and I started using it a bit more. And I was going to completely migrate to the Brave browser, but I think I'm going to keep using both. I'm going to keep using Firefox and the Brave browser. They both have things I don't like about them. They both have things I love about them. They both have bloat. And who knows if the Brave browser is harvesting your data and selling it? Who knows? I don't know. I'm not accusing them. I just don't know. And the reason why I don't use Firefox Forks, even though I've made some videos about them, like I've made a couple of videos about LibreWolf, and I really like it. I like LibreWolf. I like the fact that it's based on the Firefox engine and not the Google engine. I like the fact that LibreWolf takes Firefox and they take out all the bloat and they take out all the spyware. But the one thing I don't like about LibreWolf and the other forks of Firefox is that I don't know if they have a large enough team working on them. And sometimes it takes several days or even longer to push out the security patches. And I want my web browser to be up to date and to be secure. The other thing is that Firefox is bleeding usership. Well, and the reason why is because Firefox goes out of its way to anger the community, the people that are supporting them and using them. So Firefox, over the years, they've been bleeding usership. Who knows if Firefox is going to survive? And if Firefox doesn't survive, the forks of Firefox won't survive, I suppose. So even though the forks take out the bloat, they're dependent on Firefox to give them the security patches or to make the security patches. So I don't feel safe using the forks as a daily driver, and that's why I'm going to start using Brave browser more. I don't think I'm ready to throw Firefox in the garbage yet, because I do like the fact that their password manager has a primary password, so you can't get into it. And another thing I don't like about the Brave browser, and it's not the Brave browser fault, is that the Brave browser is not available in many distributions. So, like for instance, in Arch Linux, if you want the Brave browser, you have to install it from the AUR. And I really wish the Arch developers would migrate the Brave browser from the AUR into their main repository because it's safer. So that's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to start using Brave browser more, but I'm not going to ditch or throw Firefox in the garbage yet. But I might down the road. Let me know what you think in the comments. And that's it. In this video, I talked about some of the things that are going on with Firefox and why I'm not going to use it as much and why I'm using the Brave browser alongside of Firefox and why I'm not ready to throw Firefox in the garbage yet, but I might. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like it and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I am the Linux Mensch.